They're off. 13 over 7 furlongs, the WTW Willis CBF Maiden. It is Spectacle and Perisher, the greys racing together. On the inside, handy is King of Sparta with Mary Blacksmith in between horses. Closely followed by Straight Up, Justice City Boy and Manila Boy next to the inside. Is Realistic Dream as they continue down the far side. Realistic Dream followed by A Pretty Penny, and then Do It for Jill Ronnie. Optics next, and Party with Marty. And Oh I Do Declare is trailing the field. King of Sparta edges up on the inside to head, Straight Up, being followed by Perisher. Mary Blacksmith on the inside makes the bend in a disputing fourth with Just a City Boy. Shuffled back is Spectacle. And they're followed by Realistic Dream, followed towards halfway by Manila Boy, A Pretty Penny, and Do It for Jill Ronnie. The back three are Optics, Party with Marty, and Oh I Do Declare. King of Sparta just shows in front of stable companion Straight Up, being followed by Perisher. On their heels is Mary Blacksmith, and then Just a City Boy pushed along. Also ridden in by the rail is Realistic Dream, followed by Spectacle with a gap to A Pretty Penny and Manila Boy. Inside the final two, King of Sparta and Jack clearly lead from Straight Up. Wayne Lordan shaken up in second as they come off the elbow, and Straight Up joins issue with King of Sparta as the stable companions break clear of the remainder. Into third is Mary Blacksmith, and then Perisher and Spectacle, and it is Straight Up racing on ahead of, in second place, King of Sparta. Straight Up pulls away for a decisive win. King of Sparta's second, third was Perisher.
So on the day that Wootton Bassett's death was announced, it's one of his sons who wins the opener here. Straight Up has done well too, because he didn't come away particularly well from stall 5, kind of half fly lap leaving the stalls, but was able to get up into a good position. And from this point on, Wayne Lordan just had the one horse to beat, really, that being the stablemate King of Sparta. What were your thoughts overall?
I thought it was a decent performance. As you said, Gary, he had to fight for his position. Well, not so much fight for it. Wayne Lordan rode him quickly to get the position, and they didn't get around him quick enough from outside to close the door on him, because you say he did fly left. There was loads of space left for a long time, and Wayne was able to get back into it. And once he got into the box seat on his stablemate's tail, he was never going to be. Watch him right in the middle, white cap, fly leaps and lands, but outside they don't close the door quick enough, and Wayne is able to ride back into the gap. Now I know they had to come to the marker poles anyway, but they do come pretty straight, and Wayne was able to get into his position. Right outside him was Mary Blacksmith, Andy Slattery. He doesn't put any pressure to get across and in, and leaves Wayne Lordan loads of time to get back in there. And that's the difference between winning and losing. Perisher, the first grey and left ear shot, was 3D. Bushel Murphy then had to take his medicine on Spectacle and go back off the old ground and get behind Dylan Brown McMonigal on the fresh stuff. And from here, not really much changes. There was money for Oh I Do Declare. He fell out of the stalls, the horse, Chester horse at the back of shot, and never got involved. But you can see it there, even if you look on the edge of the ground where it's chopped up towards plain green. There's only a little over 3 horse weights there, and once Wayne Lordan was on the tail of his stable companion King of Sparta, if he was any good, Gary, he was going to win.
That was the long and the short of it, wasn't it? I think Spectacle has run okay, hasn't he?
He has. He
travelled well.
He did travel well. Nothing had to go back, because if he stays up outside Dylan Brown McMonigal on the lighter grey in front of him, he's racing on the old ground. So unfortunately he wasn't fast enough to get by him in the early part of the race, and he had to go back. But ultimately he's run better than he ran at Galway. He's got closer to Perisher, but we know Perisher regressed from the Galway to the Curragh, so who's to say he hasn't regressed again here, because this was a 2-horse race from a long way down. The Slattery filly, Mary Blacksmith, she's run a decent enough race. She just fades close home, I think, and finishes 5th in the end. But the winner was Straight Up. Once he got going after a couple of 100 yards, he was always in control here, and Perisher beat Spectacle again, just like they did at Galway. But winner was decent, Gary. What's behind him, who knows?
Doesn't hold any big race entries that I can see Straight Up, but I guess given the way he's coped well with testing conditions here in his debut, maybe if Connections felt it was worth to go one of those Group 1s in France.
Yeah. Thinking the same. Yeah. Saint-Cloud, Prix de Saint-Cloud, or whatever they're called. But stays by Wootton Bassett out of a Galileo Mare trip is going to be no trouble to him, is it?
Doesn't look it. He finished off really well there. Straight Up takes the opener. We'll go back to Angus to wrap up the result.
Yeah, I think that's an impressive winner of the first, this Straight Up. Of course, by Wootton Bassett, but the dam was unraced, but a sister to Tapestry and Rumpelstiltskin. So it's a really, as you'd expect, a really nice family, and a family that suggests he'd stay 1.5 miles next year. I was really taken with that. It was the 9-4 favourite, but it's King of Sparta 11-2 and Perisher 3-1.
Just had the opener here on day 3 of the Harvest Festival, and it has gone to straight up, ridden by the man next to me, Wayne Lordan. Wayne, congratulations. I guess the day that's in it, fitting that we should have a winner by the sire, Wootton Bassett. Just talk us through the performance, because showed sides of greenness but still got it done.
Yeah, he's a horse that works lovely at home. He's kind of nice, laid back attitude. You know, when you're coming here, you have to be sharp and on the button. So first time, so thankfully he was a tad slow away with me. But when I got a bit of room and I was able to get a lead, I think it suited him, and he was able to follow. The horse that made the running has the experience of a run, so I was able to follow him, and he turned okay, but he got going and won well.
The two of you actually were well clear in the end. Did you actually feel the stablemate might be the one to give you most to think about?
Yeah, you know, he was having his first start the last day and probably ran below par than what we thought, but today he stepped up and showed how he works. So I thought, yeah, you know, I thought if my fella wasn't too green, you know, that he probably would be the horse that I'd have to beat.
And what about the future, Wayne? Given the way he coped with testing conditions there, could one of those group races in France suit him before the year's out?
Yeah, he'll stay. He handles the ground. Doesn't feel like he's tied to that ground, to be honest. I think he'll handle nice ground as well. But staying will be a key for him.
That was obviously a huge blow to everyone down at Ballydoyle and Coolmore, the news about Wootton Bassett today. I mean, just how difficult a horse is he going to be to replace, do you think?
Yeah, look, they're all difficult, but you know, these things happen. But yeah, he's going to be a loss. We've had some good horses last year and this year, so you know, so I suppose we'll have yearlings on the ground this year. But no, it's an awful shame.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to ride plenty more winners by the sire, I'm sure, before they eventually die off. You've got Extravagant by Wootton Bassett running later on. What are your thoughts on that one, trying to add another win at the Kerry tracks?
Yeah, he doesn't mind the ground, and going to trip will be fine for him. So yeah, we'll see. He stepped forward a huge amount when he won in Killarney, when he stepped up to that trip. So again, look, you need a little bit of luck in this place. It's tight and sharp, so you just need a bit of luck.
And the final ride of the day is Saratoga in the finale. I was a little bit disappointed with him at Navan last time. What was your take on it?
Yeah, he's a lovely big horse. The ground was probably going 1.25 miles. We were kind of chancing our arm, maybe getting away with Navan, big galloping track. We always felt 1.5 miles plus was going to be his key, but we just felt maybe Navan going 1.25 miles, we could get away with it. We didn't, but I still, you know, even though he didn't win, he still ran a very respectable race, didn't disappoint, you know, too much. So he's stepping right up in trip today. He should be okay in the ground. So it is another, see how we get on.
Do you feel you've got a nice enough mark to start off from?
I do, yeah. I thought he have a good, nice mark, so see what we can do.
And Wayne, just finally, you mentioned the ground there. Presumably that bit of fresh stuff on the inside is going to be key today, is it?
Yeah, it's fresh ground. The grass is pretty long. It is deep, but it always rides a little bit worse than 2-year-olds because they're unsure of themselves. But when you ride an older horse that can handle themselves a bit better, it probably, you know, it's not as bad.
Okay, we'll watch the space. Well done again. Thanks, Wayne.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Thanks.
Watch live racing now on racingtv.com.